in the kingdom of fools. Today our lesson is going to be in the kingdom of fools, which is from a supplementary reader called Movement. So you please open your textbook as I go reading and explaining the lesson. You please check it in your textbook, okay, and also write down the meanings. As well as if you have any query, you can ask me after every paragraph is over. I shall ask you if you have any doubt, okay. After every paragraph I'll ask you doubts. So let me start my lesson. Dear students, good morning all of you. Manajay, Harshal, Savasti, Rachni, Priyanshu, Nityam, that is Palak, Shruti, all of you, Ashak, good morning all of you. Krishna, Pram, Vaibhav, Achal, Anushree, good morning to all of you. So let's start straight away, dear students. Today's lesson is in the kingdom of fools. Okay, in the kingdom of fools. From the very title of the lesson, dear students, you can understand that this is a story regarding fools. Okay, this is a story regarding fools. So if in a kingdom there are fools, it means that the kingdom it cannot be governed properly. Okay, the king will be king himself is the fool. Okay, and his minister is also fool. So if the king and his minister both are fool enough, then they cannot run the kingdom properly. Okay, so there will be always chaos and violence and confusion, okay, in the running of the kingdom. So this is a very interesting story. Let's find out. Okay, let me begin. Okay, in the kingdom of fools, both the king and the minister were idiots. They did not want to run things like other kings, so they decided to change night into day and day into night. Okay, so as they were idiots by nature, so what they did, they wanted to do something different. So what kind of different things they did? Okay, they decided to change night into day and day into night. Means whatever work we are supposed to do at daytime, they will do at night, and whatever we are supposed to do at night, they will do all this work at daytime. Understood? So this is what they changed the order of the system of the working. So they just reversed it. They ordered that everyone should be awake at night till their fields and run their businesses only after dark and go to bed as soon as the sun came up. Okay, so what was the policy they adopted? They adopted that everybody should be awake at night. Okay, they till their fields and run till their fields means plow their fields. Okay, cultivate their till matlab cultivate. Okay, plow, cultivate, all this till their fields and run their business only after dark, only after it gets dark in the evening, and go to bed as soon as the sun came up. Means as soon as the day breaks out in the morning, at that time they should go to bed. Anyone who disobeyed would be punished with death. The people did as they were told for fear of death. Okay, so people had to oblige the instructions of the king. Otherwise, the people will be punished even to the extent of death. Therefore, out of fear, they had to oblige the instructions of their foolish king and minister. The king and the minister were delighted at the success of their project. Okay, they were very happy because whatever they thought out, okay, came into action. Whatever they thought out was eventually translated into reality. Therefore, they were very, very happy. One day what happened in their kingdom, in the kingdom of this foolish king and the minister, one day a guru and his disciple arrived in the city. Okay, a guru came along with his disciple. Okay, they were different people actually. They are not a part of this kingdom. Understood? They came to this kingdom for the first time. It was a beautiful day, it was broad daylight, but there was no one about. So they became absolutely stunned or surprised on discovering that there is nobody onto the street in day broad light. The street is wearing a desert like look. Okay, there is no one on the street at broad daylight. So they became confused. What is this? There is no human being on the street, and nor even animals, but there was no one about. everyone was asleep. Not a mouse stirring. Not a mouse stirring means there is no noise at all. Okay, everything appears to be silent. Even the cattle had been taught to sleep by day. Even the cattle could not be visible onto the street, okay, onto the field. The two strangers were amazed by what they saw around them and wandered around town till evening. Wander means, dear students, wander means roam around aimlessly without any specific purpose. So they were wandering around town till evening, when suddenly the whole town woke up and went about its nightly business. So they have been wandering around the town, and it became dark. It was evening, and when evening started, okay, then they could see a lot of people coming out onto the street, and they started their business also. Understood? So they could understand, the foolish king, the guru and his disciple could understand that in this kingdom, okay, there is night life, there is no day life, okay. They could discover this only when it got dark, it was evening, people came out in large number onto the street, and the business also started, okay, like whatever business we do in the daytime was done at night, okay. So this is all about para 1. So do you have any doubt in para 1? You can text me quickly so that I understand, if you have any problem, or else I will proceed with the second paragraph, okay. So Arihan, good morning. Akanksha, Isha, good morning. Asmita, good morning, very good morning. So shall I proceed with second paragraph, children? Okay. Okay, thank you, Asmita, thank you, Anusri and Krishna. Okay, so now let me continue with the second paragraph. The two men were hungry. Now that the shops were open, they went to buy some groceries, okay, because the guru and his disciple were walking, down the street, roaming around the street, okay, for a long duration. Therefore they felt hungry, and now that the shops were open, they wanted to buy some groceries, okay. To their astonishment means to their surprise, they found that everything cost the same, a single dudu. Everything cost the same only, a single dudu. Dudu is a currency, okay, in that kingdom, similar to 1 rupee in India, okay, for example. So everything cost one single dudu. This is also something peculiar, see, whatever you purchase you have to pay a single dudu, okay, not more than a single dudu. Whether they bought a measure of rice or a bunch of bananas, it cost a dudu. The guru and his disciple were delighted. They had never heard of anything like this. They could buy all the food they wanted for a rupee. Understood? So they were very much delighted. The guru and his disciple. Why they were delighted? Because everything cost the same. Okay, so they will be able to purchase many things at a very small price. Therefore, they were very much delighted, okay, to see the uniform price tag, in all the commodities, okay, a small commodity, big commodity, everything costs the same, okay, the price tag for every commodity is the same, that is one single dudu. Therefore, they were very much amazed, and they were very much delighted also. When they had cooked and eaten, the guru realized that this was a kingdom of fools, and it wouldn't be a good idea for them to stay there. Okay, but guru, being a very scholarly person, a very wise person, he could realize that this kind of business in this kingdom will not continue for a long time, because it's a huge loss for the kingdom to sell every commodity at a single dudu. Therefore this system will change very shortly, okay, and it's a kingdom of fools. You never know what they are going to do the next time. Therefore it will not be a safe idea, it will not be a good idea to stay back in this kingdom. It's better for both of us to leave the kingdom immediately, okay. When they had cooked and eaten, the guru realized, okay, then guru said, this is no place for us, let's go. He said to his disciple, But the disciple did not want to leave the place. Everything was cheap here. All he wanted was good, cheap food. So the disciple did not want to leave the kingdom because everything is very cheap. Okay, especially like he was fond of eating, therefore it is a very good place for him, okay, because he is getting every food at a very cheap price. Therefore he did not oblige the instruction of his guru and wanted to leave the kingdom. Okay, the guru said, they are the all fools, this won't last very long and you can't tell what they will do to you next. Guru, being a wise person, he said, they are all fools. Not only the king and the minister, even the people of the kingdom are also fools. Okay, and this particular system, okay, won't last very long. Okay, you can't tell what they will do next time because they are very much impulsive by nature. Okay, impulsive, dear students, means like if I do something impulsively, it means I did not give a thought over something what I'm going to do. Okay, without giving a thought over something, if I do something, I shall be impulsive. Okay, so a person, an impulsive person is someone who does things without thinking much. Okay, out of impulse he is doing. Okay, not out of logic or out of thinking. Understood? Whatever comes to his mind or her mind, he will do it or she will do it. That is impulsive act. Okay, so the king and the minister were impulsive by nature. Therefore you never know what they are going to come up with next. Okay, therefore the guru decided to leave the kingdom, but the disciple wouldn't listen to the guru's wisdom. Okay, why? Because disciple is fond of eating. So as he got every food item at a very cheap price, therefore he decided to stay back and did not oblige Guru's instruction of leaving the kingdom. He wanted to say, the Guru finally gave up and said, do what you want, I am going, and left. He left. The disciple stayed on, ate his fill every day, bananas and ghee and rice and wheat, and grew fat like a street side sacred bull. Like a street side sacred bull, he grew very fat. Okay, by eating bananas, ghee, rice and wheat. Okay, but his guru, being a wise and scholarly person, he left the kingdom. Okay, now the main story starts, dear students. Okay, the very interesting and a very funny part of the story is going to start now. Okay, so let me continue. Okay, one bright day a thief broke into a rich merchant's house. He had made a hole in the wall and sneaked in, and as he was carrying out his loot, the wall of the old house collapsed on his head and killed him on the spot. Dear students, you see what happened. One day a thief broke into means if you get into someone's house stealthily. Okay, stealthily, in order to steal something, that is broke into. Broke into means not exactly let me tell you, here you can say forcibly, not stealthily. Broke into means if you forcibly enter someone's house, this is called broke into. Okay, one bright day a thief broke into a rich merchant house. He had made a hole in the wall and sneaked in. Sneaking in is a contrast to broke into. Okay, sneak in is stealthily. Okay, if you enter someone's place very quietly, okay, this is what is sneaking. Sneak in is all about. But break into is forcibly. If you enter someone's house forcibly, okay, that is called break into a house, and sneak in is the opposite of the word break into. Understood? And as he was carrying out his loot means the stolen things, the wall of the old house collapsed on his head and killed him on the spot. Okay, so one day you might have understood, there was a rich merchant. Okay, a thief broke into his house, and as he was leaving the house after stealing things, a wall of the old house fell on his head and killing him on the spot. Then his brother raised a complaint to the king. His brother ran to the king and complained, Your Highness, when my brother was pursuing his ancient trade refers to here stealing actually, a wall fell onto him and killed him. Okay, this merchant is to blame. This merchant, okay, this merchant whose house my brother went, okay, the merchant who owns the house is to blame. He should have built a good strong wall. You must punish the wrongdoer and compensate the family for this injustice. You must compensate. The meaning of compensate, you must be knowing, give money in recognition of loss is called compensate. Okay, compensate means if you have incurred some loss, okay, and if someone pays you, okay, for this loss, to make up the loss, this is called compensate. Okay, understood? So the thief's brother demanded compensation from the wrongdoer. Okay, then the king said, justice will be done, don't worry, and at once summoned the owner of the house. Now the owner of the house was summoned by the king. Okay, next let's see. When the merchant arrived, the king questioned him, what's your name? Such and such, your highness. Were you at home when the dead man burgled your house? He said, were you at home when the dead man burgled your house? Okay, burgle means stole your house. Okay, burgle means steal. Stole your house? Yes, my lord. He broke in and the wall was weak and it fell on him. The accused pleads guilty. The accused pleads guilty means the person who was summoned, the merchant, he said that yes, the wall fell on him and it killed him. Therefore, he himself pleaded guilty. Your wall killed this man's brother. The king said, your wall killed this man's brother. You have murdered a man. We have to punish you. Then the merchant says, Lord, I didn't put up the wall. It's really the fault of the man who built the wall. It's not my fault, your majesty. The person who has built the wall is to blame for this, not me. He didn't build it right. You should punish him. He did not build it right, therefore you should punish him. Who is that? King asked. My lord, this wall was built in my father's time. I know the man. He is an old man now. He lives nearby. Then the king sent out messengers to bring in the bricklayer who had built the wall. Bricklayer means a person who puts the bricks onto the wall. Okay. He's called bricklayer. The king sent out messengers to bring in the bricklayer who had built the wall. They brought him tied hand and foot. You there? Did you build this man's wall in his father's time? Yes, my lord, I did. What kind of a wall is this that you built? It has fallen on a poor man and killed him. You have murdered him. We have to punish you by death. Before the king could order the execution means hanging of that man. Okay, hanging of the bricklayer. Okay, before the king could order the execution means, dear students, hanging. The poor bricklayer pleaded, he appealed, okay, he begged, please listen to me before you give your orders. It is true, I built this wall and it was no good. But that was because my mind was not on it. I remember very well a dancing girl who was going up and down that street all day with her anklets jingling. And I could not keep my eyes or my mind on the wall I was building. You must get that dancing girl, I know where she lives. Okay, now it's a passing the buck sort of a game, You know, dear students, what is the meaning of passing the buck? Do you know the meaning of the word pass the buck? Do you know the meaning? Dear students, pass the buck means passing the blame from one person to another. Passing the blame from one person to another is called, pass the buck. Okay, so one person is passing the buck to another. Understood? Like first merchant was called. The merchant said, "Not me." The person who has billed, you call him. So he has come. He said, "Not me." Bricklayer you bring. Bricklayer has come. Now bricklayer is passing the buck to a dancing girl, okay, who has distracted him, okay, by walking up and down the street, okay. Her anklets, do you understand? A pile is called anklets, pile. So anklets were making metallic sound, so the bricklayer got distracted, okay, because the dancing girl kept coming and going several times, going up and down the street all day. Now the blame is going to the dancing girl. Now the king will summon the dancing girl. Understood? The king will summon the dancing girl. Let's find out who does the dancing girl pass the blame to, or pass the buck to. Okay, let's find out. What does the dancing girl have to say? Okay, I know where she lives. Okay, now bricklayer says, I know where she lives. You are right, the case depends. We must look into it. It's not easy to judge such complicated cases. Let's get that dancer wherever she is. Now the dancing girl, now an old woman, okay, now she has become old, came trembling to the court. Did you walk up and down the street many years ago while this poor man was building a wall? Did you see him? Yes, my lord, I remember it very well. So you did walk up and down with your anklets jingling. You were young and you distracted him, so he built a bad wall. It has fallen on a poor burglar. Burglar means thief, and killed him. You have killed an innocent man. You will have to be punished. She thought for a minute and said, my lord, wait. I know now why I was walking up and down that street. I had given some gold to the goldsmith to make some jewelry for me. He was a lazy scoundrel. He made so many excuses, said he would give it now and he would give it then, and so on all day. He made me walk up and down to his house a dozen times. That was when this bricklayer saw me. It's not my fault, my lord. It's the damned goldsmith's fault. So dear students, you understood? Now the dancing girl has passed the buck to the goldsmith, to a goldsmith. What was the reason she has put forward? She said, sir, if I have distracted, he said to the king, if I have distracted the bricklayer, okay, it was for a reason. What was the reason? I had to come to the goldsmith's house several times because he did not deliver my jewelry on time, and this is the exact reason as to why I had to keep coming onto the street, thereby distracting the bricklayer. It was not my fault, it's the fault of the goldsmith. If the goldsmith had delivered my jewelry on time, I would not have come to his house several times. So it is not my fault, it's the fault of the goldsmith. Okay. You see, he made so many excuses and said he would give it now and he would give it then and all day. He made me walk up and down to his house dozen times, and that is why I had to come several times, and this is how the bricklayer got distracted. So it's not my fault, it's the fault of the goldsmith. So dear students, you might be able to guess now what the king is likely to do. He is a very foolish king. So what he is likely to do? He is likely to summon the goldsmith now. Okay, let's find out. Poor thing, she is absolutely right. See, the king has immediately changed his mind. He is very impulsive. He has immediately changed his mind. Okay, instead of thinking about the matter, he has easily believed the people. Okay, and so now he has again changed his mind. He will tell his messengers to bring the goldsmith in his court. Thought the king, weighing the evidence, we've got the real culprit at last. Get the goldsmith wherever he is hiding at once. The king's bailiff searched for the goldsmith, who was hiding in a corner of his shop. When he heard the accusation against him, he had his own story to tell. The goldsmith also found out his own story. What was the story? He said, "My lord, I am a poor goldsmith. It's true I made this dancer come many times to my door. I gave her excuses because I could not finish making her jewelry before I finished the rich merchant's orders. They had a wedding coming and they wouldn't wait. You know how impatient rich men are." So, you see, now the goldsmith has come up with his own explanation. What is he saying? He is saying, "It's not my fault, dear your highness. It's not my fault altogether." Why? Because I am a poor goldsmith. Okay, it's true that I have made this dancer come several times to my door, but it's not altogether my fault. It's because a rich merchant, okay, rich merchant came up with an order to me, okay, and there was a wedding likely to be held in his house, okay. Therefore, I had to deliver his product, urgently. Therefore, I could not deliver the jewelry on time. It was the fault of the rich merchant because he kept pestering me to deliver his product quickly. As a result, I was delayed. In delivering the jewelry to the dancing girl. Who is the rich merchant who kept you from finishing this poor woman's jewelry, made her walk up and down, which distracted this bricklayer, which made a mess of his wall, which has now fallen on an innocent man and killed him? Can you name him?" The goldsmith named the merchant, and he was none other than the original owner of the house whose wall had fallen. Understood? Who was that rich merchant, dear students? Who was that rich merchant? The rich merchant was who was this rich merchant? The rich merchant was the person who owned the house, okay, who originally owned the house. He was the rich merchant, okay, at whose house the burglary took place. Okay, the wall fell on the head of the burglar. Okay, this is the original owner of the house. He is the rich merchant. Understood? The goldsmith named the merchant, and he was none other than the original owner of the house whose wall had fallen. Now justice had come full circle. Okay, now justice had come full circle. Though the king back to the full circle means it has come to the original place from where it has started. Understood? So now justice had come full circle. Though the king back to the thought the king back to the merchant, it has come back to the merchant now. When he was rudely summoned back to the court, he arrived crying, "It wasn't me but my father who ordered the jewelry. He is dead, I am innocent." So the merchant who had came up, okay, the fault has gone to the merchant now, okay, merchant now, but the king consulted his minister. Now the king is consulting his minister and ruled decisively. "It's true, your father is the true murderer. He is dead, but somebody must be punished in his place. Your father is dead, you are alive, so as he is dead, so you are to blame for this. You shall be executed. You have inherited everything from the criminal father of yours, his riches as well as his sins. I knew at once, even when I first set eyes on you, that you were at the root of this horrible crime. You must die." And he ordered a new stake to be made ready for the execution. Okay, dear students, you know, stake means a wooden post to which a person is tied before being burned alive or before being punished to death. This is the stake. A new stake was made for execution of the merchant. As the servants sharpened the stake and got it ready for the final impaling of the criminal, it occurred to the minister that the rich merchant was somehow too thin to be properly executed on the stake. He was too thin to be properly kept on the stake. Therefore, Therefore, servants, therefore he appealed to the king's common sense. The king too worried about it. The king also got worried about it. If the rich merchant could not come, could not come properly onto the stake, then how can he be executed? Okay, therefore again the king will, you see, so impulsive king, again he will change his decision. He will say, what shall we do? He said, when suddenly it struck him that all they needed to do was to find a man fat enough to feed the stake. Okay, so now the rich merchant was relieved. The rich merchant is very fortunate because he is too thin for the stake. Therefore, the king has again changed his decision and has ordered for a person who is fat enough to come into the stake, to feed the stake. The servants were immediately sent all over the town looking for a man who would feed the stake, and their eyes fell on the disciple who had fattened himself for months on bananas and rice and wheat and ghee. Do you remember disciple? Who is the disciple? Do you remember one guru and the disciple arrived in the city, and the guru left the kingdom because he knew that is the kingdom of the fools. But the disciple decided to stay back because everything, all the food items, every commodity came at a single price, that is one to do. Therefore, this is the disciple, this is the same disciple on whom the blame has passed on now. Okay, the buck has passed on to the disciple because he is the only fat person in the kingdom who will feed the stake. Therefore, he will be now executed, okay, because he will come into the stake, he will feed the stake, so he will be executed now. Okay, so dear students, I have come, it's almost time is almost up. I have run out of time now, so I have got to stop here. Okay, I have got to stop here. So next class will begin from this particular paragraph. Okay, so hopefully you've understood. It's a very interesting story, very funny, of course. I hope you've understood. So we'll continue from the next paragraph in my next class. Okay, in the meantime, if I finish writing the NCERT solution, I will send you the link. You please write down in your on your notebook, and then take the JPG images of the answers of this lesson and convert it into PDF and send me to the link which I will send you probably by this evening. Okay, so please keep your notebook up to date, all of you, at the same time. Okay, and I shall send you the link, of course, of the NCERT solution, as well as one worksheet I will make, MCQ worksheet. So the links will be sent to you. Okay, so keep your notebook up to date. As and when I send you the link, you please update your notebook and send me the PDF file of the image of the lesson. Okay, thank you so much, students. So let me wind up my lecture now. Thank you for your august presence online, and you shall also please see one concept video that I have uploaded, okay, on this lesson on YouTube. I will send you the link. I have already uploaded the concept video, that also you can see. Okay, and tomorrow, the next class, I shall certainly wrap up the lesson. Okay, certainly I shall wrap up the lesson next class, and also discuss some language vocabulary exercise and all this in the next class itself. Okay, so bye bye, take care, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel Learning with the Difference yet, dear students, please do subscribe to it, and also press the like button as well as the bell icon for notification. Thank you so much. Bye bye, take care, have a nice weekend. Bye bye.